coming to you live from Winnipeg. This is the second game in the best-of-3 series for the Western title. And the Calgary Stampeders have the edge as they defeated the Bombers on Saturday afternoon by a score of 20-14. So you might say this is D-Day for the Bombers. They have to win or no worse than tie to extend the series to a third and what could be the final game and what would be the final game. The elements in this ball game tonight will play a very prominent part because the temperature is now 20 degrees, but the factor is this: the northwest wind from 21 gusting to 29 miles an hour cutting across this gridiron here in Winnipeg tonight. It has to be one of the deciding factors in the outcome, and Brad, I think possibly this game could be decided on breaks, especially under the conditions here tonight. Although the field conditions are extremely good, almost perfect for this time of year. There's no snow on it, and the field is in good condition. It will be hard, but there should be good footing. Brad?
Well, Jack, you could also say the players whose hands stay the warmest the longest will also have ball control to a certain degree, so it's going to be just one of those things. As you say, breaks can play a very prominent part in the outcome of the game.
Well, it's well known to one and all out here in Winnipeg anyway that Bud Grant does not allow his players, not even the linemen, to wear gloves, not even golf gloves. They'll be out there bare mittens. I don't know about Bobby Dobbs or the Calgary Stampeders. This football broadcast between the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Calgary Stampeders is coming to you from Winnipeg.
Next to getting married, it's about the biggest thing in life, moving into a new home. Exciting, to say the least. Hard work and how. But fun, it's the greatest.
The movers come and you're right there to show them where things go. The chair goes here, the piano there, and some things you just don't know. You unpack a bit, you stack a bit, the place is like a hive. What better time to take a break, to stop and just take 5.
And why not? You've earned it. Next time you're busy at almost anything, pace yourself. Take a break. Take 5.
Stop, take 5. Take 5 to feel hale. Relax, take 5. Take 5 for 50 ale. Remember this, it's something you should know. It's brewed for you by John Labatt, the sponsor of this show.
Now for the starting lineups and the officials of tonight's ball game, here's Brad Keane of Vancouver. Brad?
The officials, the referee, the number 1 man is Paul Dojak of Regina. Number 2, the senior umpire is Bill Nairn of Winnipeg. The junior umpire, the number 3 man, is Taylor Patterson. Number 4, the head linesman, Tom Cheney of Calgary. Number 5, the field judge, is Jim Piper. The Calgary Stampeders defensive unit has just been introduced, and now the Winnipeg Blue Bombers defensive unit. The offensive lineups are basically the same as they were last Saturday afternoon. There's a possibility that Tony Padzikowski, all-star guard and award winner from last year, the national award winner, will be playing. We know that he is suited up, has been testing his ankle in the pregame warm-up, and possibly might get in the ball game. Herbie Gray, all-star defensive end and sometimes offensive guard for the Bombers.
Gray is playing, Brad. He's just coming out in the field.
Herbie Gray is just coming out on the field. That means Bill Whistler, number 79, will not be playing tonight. So there's the defense. As we mentioned, the offense for Winnipeg will have Funston and Ernie Pitt, the ends. The tackles will be Frank Rigney and Cornell Piper. The guards will be Rod Humanuck and Sherwin Thorson. And the center will be George Drucksmann. Kenny Plain will quarterback. He'll have Leo Lewis and Ron Latterell as his halfbacks. Hagberg and Shepard as the fulls. For Calgary, the left end will be Manning, the left tackle Albright, Bill Crawford, the left guard, Dale Parsons at center, Krebs and Jokanovic on the other side, guard and tackle, Lohman, the right end, Eagle Day at quarterback. You'll have Jim Dillard as his left halfback, Earl Lunsford as the full, Eddie Buchanan as the right half, and Larry Robinson as the flanker. There are the lineups, and that wind, Jack, that you were talking about, gusting up to 29 miles an hour, could bring that temperature down even lower than the current 20 degrees.
Well, the weatherman said it was going to be around 20 for the start of the ball game. He's right. Well, we're all set to go for the football game between the Calgary Stampeders and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Up go the Rockets. The Bombers in the white-colored uniforms will defend the goal to our right, which is the south end of the Winnipeg Stadium. The Calgary Stampeders will kick off. Number 29 is Leo Lewis, and the other deep man is Henry Jansen. And holding the ball is number 21, Harvey Wiley. And kicking off will be Larry Robinson, number 15. The ball game is just about underway. Calgary leads the series 1-0, and here is the deep kickoff. Calgary have the favoring wind. It's taken by Lewis. He drops and he recovers on his own 6. He's up to about the 10. He spins off to the right. He's still on the 10. He drops the ball, and let's see who's got it. And we'll see if Lewis recovered his own fumble. He was hit by Jim Furlong, number 70, and Wayne Harris, number 55. This may be the indication, Brad, that under these conditions, we expect a lot of loose ball handling.
Well, Bobby Dobbs was down here yesterday looking at the field. He thought it'd be pretty good, but it looks a little slippery out there, if that's any indication.
1st and 10 for the Bombers. They have possession on their own 11-yard line. And it's Ken Plain at quarterback. And the handoff is given to number 21, Charlie Shepard, and Shepard is brought down on about the 16 by Harvey Wiley and number 62, Don Luzzy.
Jack, they have a mixture of footwear out there as far as the Bombers are concerned. I noticed some of the players are wearing runners with cleats in them. Others are wearing the regular leather type of footwear.
Remember a few years ago, I think it was up in Edmonton, Brad, when there was quite a controversy over the type of cleats that the Bombers used on a particular day, very similar to this. Maybe it was a little colder. I just see the Calgary defensive unit lining up and getting ready. And the handoff is to Shepard again, and crashing through was Ernie Danjean, shooting the gap, number 54. See him getting up there, and it'll be 3rd down for the Bombers. Number 11 is Ken Plain. He goes to the bench. Coming out is Nick Miller, number 24, and Rick Potter, number 26. So this will be the first punt of the ball game. It's 3rd down and about 4 yards to go. And the deep man, Bill Miller and Harvey Wiley. Bill Miller, number 25. Harvey Wiley to his left. Wiley in the running for one of the top Shenley Awards. Shepard kicking from his own 5-yard line into this strong wind. There it goes, and he gets a low kick away. Wiley waits for it. It bounces towards him. He takes it on the 50. There's a marker on the play, insufficient yardage. George Drucksmann was within the legal 5-yard limit, and it'll be a penalty against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The ball is now resting on the Bombers' 48-yard line, and referee Paul Dojak is marching off the yardage. It'll bring it down deep into the Bomber territory on the Bombers' 36. No score in the early part of the ball game. 1st and 10, Calgary. Eagle Day will be the quarterback. Larry Robinson, the flanker, and the fans are roaring. And the handoff is to Earl Lunsford, number 27. He piles up. There was a fumble. Let's see what happened there. They have recovered. Number 27 there, Lunsford. Roger Savoy, number 62, and Gar Warren, number 44. It's a gain of 2, 2nd and 8. The ball inside the Bombers' 35. It's on the 34. Robinson flanks to the right, double fullbacks. Left hand is split. Fans are not giving Day much of a chance to get those signals out. They're yelling and they're roaring. And he tries that jump pass, and it is incomplete. It was intended for Pete Manning. The wide end, knocked down by Henry Jansen. It'll be 3rd and 8.
Well, we get this Bush League. We had it a little bit in Regina in the first quarter, and then they got a little too tired of hollering, I guess. And now we're getting the same treatment here, and I guarantee you that after the first quarter, it'll cut out.
There's a penalty against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. It's 1st and 10. Illegal interference against the Bombers, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Calgary on the Bombers' 30. Eagle Day, number 12 for the Calgary Stampeders, formerly played with the Bombers. This is the 2nd year with the Stampeders. He missed the early part of the year with a back ailment. He was named the outstanding quarterback in the Western Conference. He has Lunsford directly behind him, and his flankers are split to the right and left. And here's Day going back to throw. Looking for his receiver, gets great protection. And it is good. Taken by Lohman, who wasn't thought to be playing tonight, number 77, Phil Lohman. This football broadcast between the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Calgary Stampeders is coming to you from Winnipeg.
Let's stop, take 5, refresh, take 5 to feel alive.
Johnson flanks wide to the right, double fullback. Buchanan and Lunsford. And the handoff is to Earl Lunsford, number 27. He was being contained by Roger Savoy. Those elbows are starting to fly. So it'll be third and about 3. The ball is over the Bomber 25, but not quite to the 24. Bombers in their defensive huddle. Number 62 is Roger Savoy, who was named one of the defensive linemen of the year in the Western Conference. In Calgary, going to their close huddle. Bill Britton goes in, and they're going for the field goal with Robinson kicking and Jerry Keeling holding. They have the favoring wind. The ball will be on the 32. There it goes. And it is not there. It rolls to the deadline for a single point, and the Calgary Stampeders take a 1-0 lead in this ball game tonight. Well, there's been quite a controversy here in Winnipeg over the yelling during when a quarterback is in there. Bud Grant said he hoped the fans would do it. Bobby Dobbs didn't like it. Frankly, I like to see them play this ball game the way it should be played. Let the better team emerge triumphant. First and 10 Bombers. And here's Plain rolling out, and he gets that pass away to Leo Lewis. Lewis is on the 30. He's on the 35. He's running a touch on the 39-yard line by Ernie Danji, number 54. First and 10 Bombers. I got a telegram there, Brad.
I've got an announcement here, Jack, and it's sort of a welcome to approximately 2,000 new CTV viewers in the Kimberley area in British Columbia who are connected to CFCN TV for tonight's game on the CTV system.
Well, welcome aboard, folks. First and 10 Bombers. And the handoff is to Leo Lewis. Lewis off tackle to his right. He's piled up at about the 43 by Don Leslie, number 62. It's a gain of 5, second and 5 for the Bombers on their own 43-yard line. The score is 1-0. Favor the Calgary Stampeders. This is the big one. Big one from many angles for the Stampeders, striving to move into the Grey Cup for the first time since 1949. Bombers trying to retain an interest in the Grey Cup. Trophy they hold at the present time, but they have to win or tie tonight. Second down, Plain drops back, looks, throws, and it is complete to number 21, to Ron Latterell, who's playing the right halfback spot. Number 31, Ron Latterell. He was contained by Harvey Wiley at first and 10. First and 10 for the Bombers on their own 50. They have moved from their own 25 after giving up a single point on Robinson's attempted field goal. It went wide and rolled to the deadline. Handoff is to Hagberg, off tackle to his right. Picks up short yardage, stopped by Larry Anderson, number 51, and Don Leslie, number 62. It's a gain of 4. It'll be second and 6. Referee Paul Dojak indicating the down. I think they have to grind it out the hard way tonight. Brad?
Well, this is the fourth game in 12 days for the Stampeders, 2 against Regina, and this is the second against the Bombers. It's a pretty tough schedule.
And both these clubs have minor hurts. Second and 6. And here's Plain faking the handoff, throws it down the middle, and it is incomplete. Intended for Farrell Funston, number 71. Funston hasn't seen action for the last 2 or 3 Bomber games. He is hampered by a chronic bad knee, but Bud Grant, the coach of the Bombers, says he has to go with everybody tonight. So he has Funston in there. Coming to the bench is Plain and the safety man dropping back, Harvey Wiley and Miller. Wiley, the top of your screen, and Shepard punting from his own 41 into the wind. There's the snap to Shepard. It's blocked, and there's a loose ball bobbling around there. We don't know who's got it yet. There's a pileup over there. That punt was blocked by Ken Holmes, and I believe Shepard recovered. But it's first and 10.
Furlong also doubled up with Holmes on that play, and it's possible that Furlong did get a finger on the ball. and recovered for Calgary.
Stampeders in possession on the Bombers' 42. And here's reverse, the handoff to Buchanan going to the short side, and he is hit hard by Jack Delvo, number 23, and number 61. Roger Hamlin, it's a gain of 2, 2nd and 8. And Buchanan is slow getting up. There was a play that worked for the Stampeders in the first game of this series. Buchanan is going to the bench, and coming in his place is number 21, Harvey Wiley, who threw a touchdown pass on a pitch out from Eagle Day in the first game that gave the Stampeders the margin of victory, 20-14. Second down, 8 to go, 4 Stamps, not quite to the Bomber 40. Flanker is Robinson to the right. All set. And here's Eagle going back to throw. He gets that little swing pass, and it is close to being intercepted. A loose ball. Jack Delvo had it, dropped it.
I always thought Winnipeg was a good sports town, Jack.
Well, as I said, there's been quite a bit of controversy about it, Brad, over this yelling while the quarterback. Maybe we better explain to our listeners and viewers that the Calgary Stampeders use a lot of audible signals when they come up out of the huddle on the line of scrimmage. In other words, Dave will switch the call. Now we have the safety man. 32 is Jansen, and 31 is Latterell. And here's the kick by Furlong with the wind, and it's going deep into the end zone. The score is now 2-0 in favor of the Calgary Stampeders as Jim Furlong got a long boot away. This football broadcast between the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Calgary Stampeders coming to you.
Go, go, take by 4, L-A-V-A-T-T-F-I-F-T-Y.
The ale brewed for you by John Labatt.
First and 10 Bombers on their own 25. Bombers had no luck running against this line of Calgary on Saturday. Shepard, the flanker to the right. Hagberg, the lone fullback. And here's the handoff to Latterell. He cuts the corner. He's on the 25, and he's up to about the 26. It's 1 yard. Willie Hector, number 45, a latecomer to the Calgary Stampeders, just recently picked up, and he comes to play. So it's 2nd and 9. The ball is on the Bombers' 26.
This, Jack, I was just thinking this game might be sort of reminiscent of the finals against Edmonton back in 1960. I think the game score was 4-2.
That's right, yes.
And it's 2-0 right now.
2-0 for the Calgary Stampeders. I think Tommy Joe Coffey kicked the winning field goal that particular day. Shepard is flanked to the right, and here is the pitch out to Hagberg. Hagberg turns the corner, and he is hit hard. He may have picked up that first down. Oh, he was hit. Lavelle Coleman, number 22, coming in there on him. Hagberg, number 35, is 1st and 10 for the Bombers on their own 35. Hagberg's little extra drive there got him that necessary 1 or 2 yards. Calgary defense looks like a 5-man line, but they convert when they see the formation of the Bombers. 1st and 10, here's Leo Lewis, and Lewis is brought down. There's a fumble on the play, and let's see who's got it now. That's the second fumble. Ernie Danjean shooting the gapper, red dogging, getting through on Leo Lewis, and Lewis is thrown back for a loss on the 30. Shepard gets up. There's a loss of about 4 yards on the play, so it'll be 2nd and 14. Temperature here is 20 degrees. The wind is northwest, 21, gusting to 29 miles an hour. So it's 2nd and 14 for the Bombers, back to their own approximate 31. Latterell flanker right. And here is the handoff to Hagberg, and Hagberg is brought down after short yardage by Willie Hector and Wayne Harris, number 55, number 62, Don Luzzy. Hagberg is 35, so it'll be 3rd down and about 11 yards to go. And once again, the Bombers are forced to give up the ball. Bill Miller and Harvey Wiley. Bill Miller, number 25, and Harvey Wiley, 21, are the deep men for the Stampeders. And Shepard, Jack Delvo in there to punt from the 21. Shepard was hurt on that last play, the play before last. And here is Delvaux's punt. It's high. And it bounces in front of Bill Breton. Breton picks it up on the 55. He's hit hard on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. 52 by Delvaux, the punter, who came in on him, number 23.
Woof. Cornell Piper gave him quite a whack in the whiskers with his elbow as well.
Brad, I think this first quarter we're seeing right now is the pattern that's going to be set for this ball game tonight. Both teams are desperately hungry. The Stampeders, in an effort to break the long drought of Western champions. The Bombers, proud and defending Cup champions. There's Eagle Day. Here's Eagle going back to throw. He's got to hurry. Oh, is he hit hard as he gets the long one away. As the boy came in on him, he overthrows on Pete Manning. And Day is still down on the seat of his knickers. Number 74 is Manning coming back into the huddle. Number 15 is Larry Robinson. Woo. So it'll be second down.
This has been the pattern in a lot of recent Western games. When a quarterback drops back to pass, is continue on the charge and knock him on his knickers, as you put it, Jack. Joe Kapp had a lot of that happening to him, as well as Bob Toczak in the series against Calgary.
Bob Toczak had a miserable couple of games against this club. They had him down all the way. Harvey Wiley is in at flanker. And here's the fullback draw to Lunsford. Lunsford finds a hole over center, and he rips it up to about the 49-yard line before he's stopped by Roger Savoy and Dave Burkholder and number 14, Dick Thornton. It's a gain of about 3 yards. It'll be 3rd and 7. Bomber bench, number 77 is Ernie Pitts, 29 is Leo Lewis, and the coach, Bud Grant, with the man from Mars headset on. Deep man for the Bombers drop back. 31 is Latterell, 32 is Johnson. Coming to the bench is number 63, Steve Patrick.
And has he got a cut over his eye, Jack? It's a bad one.
Neil Thomas goes in. There's Steve Patrick on the bench. So Jim Furlong will punt with the wind from his own 48. A bad snap to him. He drops the ball. And he gets it away. It's a short kick. And it's down to the 40. And there's an official on the ground, and there's a fumble for it, and there's a marker on the play. Well, we're going to have everything tonight.
That was Bill Nairn trying to get out of the way.
There's 2 markers down. Could be insufficient yardage on the punt receiver.
Or roughing the kicker, too, Jack. I see Kenny's having an argument with Paul Dojak down there.
Well, we'll wait and get the official call from Mr. Referee, Paul Dojak. The score, Calgary Stampeders 2, Winnipeg Blue Bombers no score. I think those tempers are a little edgy out there tonight, Brad.
Well, there goes the one against the Bombers. Now, they might come back with another one. You never know.
We'll wait for Mr. Dojak to give us the signal. Roughing the kicker against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Takes precedent over the yardage call against the Stampeders. So it's 1st and 10, Calgary, on the Bombers' 35.
Those 2 points could look awful big about an hour from now.
1st and 10. Handoff is to Lunsford, trying to pick a hole, and he's brought down on the 30. It's a gain of about 5, stopped by Delvaux, number 23. Number 44, Gar Warren. 62, Roger Savoy. 2nd and 5. Must be about 15,000 here tonight, I imagine.
Dressed in all kinds of outlandish costumes.
You can't blame him. Robinson, number 15, flanks to the right. And here is the handoff to Wiley. He's going to throw a pass, and if he's got it to Robinson, Robinson comes back for it. He can't get it. There's a marker on the play. That was the play that went for a touchdown against the Bombers in Calgary Saturday afternoon. It wasn't quite. They're in a little closer, on about the 25. So Wiley's record now is 1 for 2. And Harvey was telling us he's the leading passer in the league, 1 for 1 after Saturday, and he's right.
As an illegal procedure penalty being assessed against Calgary and declined by Winnipeg, Jack.
We've seen a lot of those calls this year for some unknown reason. So it's 3rd down and 5 to go for Calgary on the Bomber 30. And once again, Furlong has the favoring wind, and the deep man, or rather, Larry Robinson is going to try for the field goal, so the deep men are not too deep. Here's Robinson kicking from the 37. There's the snap. And there it goes. And Dojak waves it off. It rolls for a single point, and the score is 3-0 in favor of the Calgary Stampeders. There's football broadcast between the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Calgary Stampeders coming to you from Winnipeg. Seconds left in the opening quarter. Calgary has 3 points, all on singles, with a favoring strong wind from the northwest. Bombers first and 10. Shepard is the flanker to the right, Hagberg the fullback. And here's the pitch out to Hagberg, and he is contained by a charging Willie Hector, number 45. It's a gain of 1, 2nd and 9.
Hector is a late cut from the Los Angeles Rams. He didn't think he was big enough to cut it down there. He's about 6'2", a 220-pounder, and he's very versatile and very fast.
Well, he plays that right defensive end spot, number 45. You can see him there. And he's got a good charge.
He was blitzing on that last one.
So it's 2nd and 9 for the Bombers on their own 26-yard line. The point is, Calgary, I think, would have to pick up more points than the 3 they have with a favoring wind in this opening quarter. Here's Plain going back to throw, and he dumps one intended for Farrell Funston, number 71. He was shaded by Lavelle Coleman, number 22. So it'll be 3rd and 9. And Grant sends in his kicking squad. But it's going to be Delville doing the punting for the Bombers in place of Shepard, although Shepard was in on that last sequence of plays. Bill Miller, number 25, Harvey Wiley, 21. They're not too deep. They're on the midfield stripe. And here's Delville punting from his own 13. Good snap. Here's a high ball, but not deep. And it drops into a maze of players. It's taken by Wiley. Wiley is on the 40, and he's brought down on about the 38-yard line by George Drucksmann. It'll be 1st and 10, Calgary. We were talking earlier before the telecast, Brad, that these punt receivers are going to have trouble tonight, and there's no doubt about it. But what about those 4 punters, too? 1 minute and 14 seconds in the first quarter.
Got the downfield tacklers are scrambling pretty good trying to get away from that ball.
It bounces crazily. 1st and 10, Calgary. Here's Eagle. Eagle Day dropping straight back. He's looking for his receiver. He throws to the sidelines. It's incomplete. There's a marker on the play. Pass is intended to Robinson. Holding is a charge against the Calgary Stampeders. The minute flag has been raised. We have less than a minute to go in the opening quarter. Calgary leads 3-0. Paul Dojak indicating the holding penalty against the Stampeders. So there's 10-yard carry for Dojak. He may turn out to be the leading ball carrier of the game tonight. Wiley, Harvey Wiley, number 21, cutting into the lineup. Placed number 28, Ed Buchanan. Buchanan was injured in the first game on Saturday afternoon of this series, and he went to the dressing room before the first half was over. And here's the quick kick, and it gets it deep. Harvey Wiley drums it back there, rolls all the way to the deadline for another single point, and the score, Calgary 4, Winnipeg Blue Bombers nothing. That was 65 yards. So that gives you an indication of how much the win means in this ball game tonight. Wiley's got 1 point, Robinson 1 point, and
Robinson's got 2.
Robinson got 2.
And Furlong got the other one.
Furlong got the other on a single, or rather on a
and he had about a 65-yard punt as well when he garnered that point.
Less than a minute to play in the opening quarter. 4-0 for Calgary. Bombers 1st and 10 on their own 25, and this is the 4th time they've scrimmaged the ball on their own 25 tonight. Playing in at the pivot. And balance line, the handoff is to Hagberg, and a straight-ahead dive play up to the 30. Stopped by Larry Anderson, number 51. Blocking there was Sherwin Thornton. Was named one of the all-star guards in the West this year.
Our Eastern viewers, just in case they're not familiar with Calgary's defensive structure, they use a 5-man line, but they use 3 linebackers, 2 inside backers, and a cornerback that floats. They call him the monster, Bill Britton, number 11. and he'll play either left or right, whichever side the strength goes with on the offensive team.
Frank Rigney, offensive tackle for the Bombers, coming off the field. He was hurt in that last play with Bomber trainer Gordy Mackey. Looks like he's favoring his right arm. Going in will be number 52, Dave Burkholder, interior linebacker for the Bombers. So it's second down and 2 to go for the Bombers on their own 30-yard line. And this will be the last play of the quarter. The clock has run out. Bombers will try to hang on so they don't have to give up the ball to the Stampeders. And there's a fumble and a pile-up, and that's the interior linebacker for the Bombers. So it's second down and 2 to go for the Bombers on their own 30-yard line. And this will be the last play of the quarter. The clock is first and 10 for the Calgary Stampeders, and Eagle Day is appealing to the officials for silence from the crowd. And here's Paul Dojak asking for silence. Timeout is called. Now, have we had a ruling on this from the commissioner?
I don't believe so, Jack. We were chatting with Sid earlier, just prior to the game, and neglected to ask him about it. I know the same thing happened in Regina, and they told him to go ahead with the game.
It's an unfair situation. There's no doubt about it. And here's Eagle Day. He's trapped back there, and he looked for somebody. Couldn't find him. Jack's elbow crashing through. The loss of yardage on the play, about a 2-yard loss, is back to the 40. So it's second and 12 for the Stampeders. They lead by a score of 4-0. You got some stats there, Brad?
Yes, Jack. First downs, Winnipeg picked up 3, Calgary 2. Both of them on penalties. Rushing, Winnipeg 24, Calgary 11. Kenny's 2 for 4, Eagles 1 for 4. Pass yardage 21 for Winnipeg, 7 for Calgary.
Second down, 12 to go. And here's the Eagle dropping back. He gets the pass away to Manning, and Manning is brought down on the 34-yard line by Roger Savoy. Number 74 is Pete Manning, a real fine end. This boy was picked up in a late-season trade, and he has been, I think, the Calgary Stampeders' real find of the year. Paul Dojak is indicating something here. We have a marker on the far side of the field.
That play was sent in by Bobby Dobbs, with George Hansen coming in on the play and going right back out again.
Paul Dojak giving us the signal now. Here it is. Offside, Calgary. And he was asking the Bomber captain what they wanted to do about it. So it's second down over again, so they took the penalty. And it's second and about 17 yards.
Jack, Harvey Wiley is seeing more offensive work tonight than he possibly has all year. He's in again, I noticed. Buchanan is back out again.
Calgary, second down over. As Eagle staying in the pocket, there's the pass down the middle. It's incomplete. It was intended for Harvey Wiley, and it was batted down by Gar Warren, number 44. So we'll see how the Stampeders can kick into this wind now that the Bombers have the advantage. Jimmy Furlong is the punter. And we have another marker on the play here. 32 is Jansen. 31 is Latterell. There's a penalty against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers down to the 30. Here's a roughing penalty against the Bombers. It's second down. There's about 2 yards to go. The indicator on the down box is second down. Second down it is. Ball is on the 30. Calgary come out of that huddle snapping. And the handoff is to Lunsford, and he picks up the first down to the 25, stopped by Gordy Rowland, number 27. So it's first and 10 for the Stampeders. Player substitution for Calgary. Ed Buchanan coming in for the Stamps, likely in place of Harvey Wiley. And it is Wiley going to the bench. Number 12 is Eagle Day. He had a couple of years with the Washington Redskins. First and 10, Calgary. Backs in motion. The handoff is to Lunsford. He finds a big hole, and he is going. He's down to the 5. He's down to the 4, and he's brought down on about the 3-yard line by Gordy Rowland. That quick opener, and Hal Grebs, number 52, and number 77, Phil Lohman, making 2 terrific blocks. As a 22-yard gain, and the Stampeders are inside the 4. First and goal. There they go. Flankers are split, and it is handoff to Dillard, and Dillard is over for the touchdown. Dillard. Oh, the Stamps hit pay dirt against the wind, which I think, Brad, is pretty tough to do tonight.
It's hard enough walking into the wind, let alone playing football.
Bud Grant, the coach of the Bombers, the score is now 10-0. For the Stampeders, Robinson has a shot at the point after. They'll be kicking into the wind. Lines will be charging. There it is. It's up. It's not in there. It's wide of the uprights, and the score remains Calgary Stampeders 10, Winnipeg Blue Bombers no score.
You were
Bombers
talking,
will receive.
Jack, you were talking earlier about the breaks making the difference, and it's becoming more apparent that such is the case under adverse weather conditions. And one break, as far as Calgary is concerned, was a rough play penalty called against the Bombers. Calgary were going to kick, and it's doubtful if they could have kicked it over the line, a possibility. And then they came back off that call. They got a second down over again, and Lunsford got a big hole on the weak side of the line. Krebs plays a weak guard, and it paid off.
Deep man Leo Lewis and Henry Jansen. Lewis 29, Jansen 32. Larry Robinson, number 15, kicking off for Calgary. This is the second kickoff for Calgary. They kicked off to the Bombers to open the game. And they try to, it's a short kickoff, and it's touched there by Frank Rigney. Rigney is piled up on the 40-yard line. And a touch. Number 55, Wayne Harris. So it's first and 10 Bombers on their own 40-yard line, and this is the first time the Bombers have had possession with the favoring wind.
And they have yet to make penetration into Calgary territory since the ball game got underway.
First and 10 Bombers on their own 40. Calgary leads 10-0. 12 minutes and 39 seconds in this quarter. Flanker is Shepard, wide to the right. The lone fullback is Hagberg. And backs are in motion, and Plain is hit back there. He gets away, he pulls out of it, but he's brought down by Jim Furlong. This football broadcast between the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Calgary Stampeders coming to you from Winnipeg.
Time out, take 5, refresh, take 5 to feel alive.
Well, here we are back at the ball yard again. There's second down and about 13 yards to go for the Bombers, back on their own 37. As Plain was rushed, he drops back deeper this time. He throws, he gets a little swing pass out to Hagberg. Hagberg digs around one. He's up to the 40, he's up to the 45, he's up to the 50, up to the 52-yard line. Finally stopped by Willie Hector. Rod Humenick making a great block. 18-yard and a first down gallop for the Bombers. That's their big offensive thrust of this ball game so far tonight. Went 18 yards. The longest individual game was Lunsford, 22 yards. So it's first and 10 for the Bombers on their own 52. And here's Plain, dropping him back, stays in the pocket. Who is he hit? And here it is, and it is good to Ernie Pitts. And Pitts is brought down on the 37. A fine catch by Pitts. Larry Anderson was in on Plain, and Plain just got it away in time. First and 10 Bombers on the Calgary Stampeders, 33.
An unusual thing, Jack. If this game should end up in a tie, there is no extra innings or overtime period, and it'll just be called that a tie, and the third game will be necessary, of course, on Saturday.
Well, it's 10-0 right now, and stranger things have happened, Brad. First and 10 Bombers. Double fullbacks. Handoff is to Charlie Shepard, and Shepard picks up yardage up to about the 23. Brought down by Bill Miller. And Willie Hector, number 45. That'll be a first down. They're looking at it. Interest, a spectator up here tonight, Brad, is Jungle Jim Trimble, coach of the Hamilton Tiger Cats. We'll have him on at halftime. First and 10, Bombers. Bombers in possession on Calgary's 23.
quite a wire we got from Johnny Esau and
Stoops. Yeah, we'll get to it. First and 10 Bombers. Here's Plain handing off to Leo Lewis. Lewis turning the corner, cuts in, and he's hit by Wayne Harris, who's floating out with the play and brought down on about the 17-yard line by Harris and Jerry Keeling, number 10. It's a gain of 7, 2nd and 3. Ball is just nudging the 15-yard stride. Bombers are threatening. 9 minutes and 51 seconds in this quarter. The score is 10-0 in favor of the Calgary Stampeders, the Red Raiders from the Foothill City.
Possibly the best defensive club in Western Canada, right?
Oh, they're tough to run against. Double fullback. Handoff is to Roger Hagberg. Oh, those fists are coming up. Could be the first down. Harvey Wiley coming up and making the tackle. Number 11 is playing there. Number 21 is Harvey Wiley. Wiley, the defensive captain, looking it over. And we have our first measurement of the night. The chain gang go out.
Should I read it?
Go ahead.
John Esau and Anna Stukas. We were on our way until, while basking in the sun on the 10th tee, who are they kidding? Got a Winnipeg weather report. Brr. Good luck. Bring golf clubs to the Grey Cup. Now, if this is coming from Vancouver, I can understand it, Jack.
Well, the chain gang have been out there.
Third down.
It's short, but only inches. Now, Bombers going shooting? I imagine so. They're on the 13. There's the Calgary defense. They'll be stacking the middle of that line. Fainting quite a while in the huddle. Third and less than a yard to go. Lewis is out to the right. Handoff is to Roger Hagberg, the left fullback, and he's piled up, but I think he has the yardage necessary. But they're peeling him off now. Could be a first. And here's referee Paul Dojak very carefully scanning it. He looks at the captain, Harvey Wiley, and calls for a measurement again. And you can't blame him. Boy, this is an important game for both these clubs. Score is Calgary 10, Winnipeg no score. Put the glass on and see if it's a first down. It's a first down. First down by the length of the ball. First and 10 Bombers on the Calgary 12. There's the deepest penetration for the Bombers tonight. Now the fans start up the chant, "We want a touchdown." Got news for them, so do the Bombers. And here's Kenny Plain, peeling out to his left. He gets a swing pass to Leo Lewis. Lewis has dropped it, and there's a loose ball. Let's see, what is it? A completed pass. Lavelle Coleman covering on Lewis, and that's the, if that is a fumble, I wasn't really.
No, it was an incomplete pass.
Incomplete pass. They brought it back. So it'll be 2nd and 10 on the 12. 8 minutes, 25 seconds in this first half. Second down and 10 yards to go for a first, 12 to go for a touchdown. Bombers in possession. Calgary shoring up that big defense of theirs. Playing going with double fullbacks of Hagberg and Shepard. He's going to throw. He drops straight back, looking for the swing receivers to Hagberg. Hagberg drops it, can't contain it. It'll be third. Don Luzzy, number 62. Don is playing with a bad leg. Coming in is number 28 for the Bombers. That's Jerry James, indicating the Bombers will try for the field goal. Calgary defense has tightened up. James has been used almost exclusively for point after touchdown and field goal attempts. He has the favoring wind. The ball will be placed on about the 18. James 28 playing, and number 11 will hold. Score is 10-0. Line is down. There's the snap. There's the kick. He's left-footed. It's good for 3 points in the score. Calgary Stampeders 10, Winnipeg Blue Bombers 3. Time on the clock, unofficial, 7 minutes and 43 seconds. Now we acknowledge a telegram from way out there in Montreal. Bill Colburn sends his regards. Thank you very much, Bill. This football broadcast between the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Calgary Stampeders coming to you from Winnipeg.
4 kicks take 5, refresh, take 5 for 50 ale.
And the handoff is to Dillard. He's trying to turn the corner. He cuts in. He's brought down after a gain of 2 by Gar Warren, number 44. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Warren shooting in on Dillard, who cut back as he couldn't turn the corner. Was pulling guards of Calgary, trying to clear the way for Dillard. Dillard had a fine afternoon on Saturday against the Bombers. 2nd down and 8. Unbalanced line. Strength is to the right. Handoff is to Earl Lunsford, and he just charges up to about the 43. It's going to be short of a first. Stopped by Jack Delville, number 23. And number 63, Steve Patrick. 3rd down. 3rd down and about 2.5 yards to go. Bobby Dobbs, the coach of the Stampeders, sends in his kicking squad. Jim Furlong will do the punting. 31 is Latterell. 32 is Jansen. Furlong kicking into the wind from his own 30. Score is 10-3 for Calgary. There's the snap. Furlong gets it away, and it's a pretty good kick into this wind, and waiting for it is Latterell on his own 39. He drops it, and they all go on top of it. I think it was recovered by number 32, Jansen. Dale Parsons was the first man down for Calgary. 1st and 10 Bombers on their own 39. That was a 38-yard kick. No run back. I think that'll have to constitute the best kick of the evening so far into that wind anyway. As a Calgary bench. Bobby Dobbs in a parka. He's from Oklahoma.
That's the first time this year we've seen him without his hat on.
So it's 1st and 10, Bombers. Flankers Latterell, double fullbacks. And the handoff is to Hagberg, and Hagberg hits it center. And they pile up on him. Ernie Danjean trying to block through there was 55, Sherwin Thornton. He was blocked out. So it's 2nd down. He picks up 3. It's 2nd and 7. The ball is on the Bombers' 42-yard line. 5 minutes and 55 seconds to halftime. Who we got at halftime, Brad?
Gee whiz, we got a whole bunch of fellows, Eastern and Western, Jack.
And the King of the Jungle will be one of them. 2nd down, 7 to go. And here's a quick kick. The marker on the play as they draw him offside. And they get the ball deep down to the 5, and it's rolling into the end zone. It's going all the way. And Calgary are going to concede the point. Harvey Wiley. Now there's the marker on the play. We've got to see what it is. That was 72 yards with the wind. How'd you like to be out in a sailboat tonight?
I think an ice boat would be more apropos, Jack.
Paul Dojak, the referee.
Rough play against Calgary. Offside against Calgary.
Offside against Calgary. So Bombers, the score remains 10-3. Be a 5-yard penalty, 2nd down over, and they'll have about 2 to go. Referee Paul Dojak marching off the yardage. It's 2nd down and about a yard to go for a first. 10-3 for Calgary with 5 minutes and 28 seconds. Calgary defensive unit. Man, they're big.
Pat Holmes, 6'5", 250 pounds, one of the tackles.
Here's Plain, and he pitches out to Charlie Shepard, and Shepard turns the corner, and he's up to the 55, up to the 50. He's brought down on the Calgary Stampede at 47 by Harvey Wiley. Wayne Harris couldn't pull Shepard down. So it's 1st and 10 for the Bombers on the Calgary Stampeders' 47-yard line. 5 minutes and 2 seconds in the 3rd quarter. We're hearing from all the Eastern gang. We'll be seeing them all at Grey Cup, too. We'll get to that one. Here's a handoff to Roger Hagberg, and Hagberg slants off tackle to his left. Stopped by Larry Anderson. And Wayne Harris, 51 is Anderson. Wayne Harris is 55. It's a gain of 3, 2nd and 7. 2nd down. for the Bombers on the Stampeders 45. Ball right on the double marker, the 45-yard line. Bombers are taking quite a time in that huddle. They send lateral flanking to the right, double fullbacks. And here's Plain shooting back. Gets the pass away, and it is good to Funston. Funston drops. Let's see what they call it. See what they call it. Fumbled, caught, and fumbled. Fumbled into touch. Bill Miller covering on Funston. It's 1st and 10 for the Bombers on the Calgary Stampeders. About 33 and a half.
And they're just a converted touchdown away from tying this ball game up.
10-3 is the score for Calgary. 3 minutes and 52 seconds. Time becomes important now. 1st and 10 Bombers. Here's Plain, and he pitches out to Charlie Shepard. Shepard turns the corner. He's on the 25. He's on the 20. He's up to the 15. And he's brought down on the 15-yard line by Jim Furlong. Number 70. Number 21 is Shepard. Look at some of those get-ups on the fans there. There's a brave fellow with a fedora on. 1st and 10 Bombers on the Calgary 15. 3 minutes and 31 seconds. Bombers out of the huddle. Latterell and Hagberg flank to the right. Fullbacks, Shepard. And here's a little flea flicker pass, and it's dropped. Maybe it's recovered. And taken by Calgary. He's on the 25. He's up to the 30, up to about the 37-yard line. Lavelle Coleman. Pass caught. Wait a minute. They're ruling it off. Ruling it an incompleted pass. They're bringing it back. This football broadcast between the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Calgary Stampeders coming to you from Winnipeg.
Let's stop, take 5, refresh, take 5 to feel alive.
Statistical department. 2nd down, going in is Herb Gray, number 53. Coming out is Rod Humanick, 54. 2nd down, ball on the Calgary 15. Score is Calgary 10, Bombers 3, less than 3 minutes in this quarter, in this half. 2nd down. Here's Plain, rolling out to his right, looking for his receivers. There's the pass, and it is good. Incomplete to Ernie Pitts. Pitts had it. He was all alone. Nobody near him. And there's a dejected football player for you. Ernie Pitts. He was there.
He set a record in pass receptions not too long ago, I believe, Jack.
So James comes off the bench and will attempt his 2nd field goal of the night. It's dead center. Here's James with Plain holding. There's the snap. It's up. It's in. It is over for 3 points. And James coming through with his 2nd field goal of the night to make the score. Calgary Stampeders 10 and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 6 with 2 minutes and 27 seconds remaining in this 2nd quarter. Well, Brother Jim Vipon of the Toronto Globe Mail sends this one along. Stuke and Johnny are right. Bring your bathing suit, too. 1st and 10, Calgary. And here's the handoff to Dillard. Dillard cuts in. He loses footing, and he's piled up on the line of scrimmage by Gordy Rolla and Jack Delville, number 23. 2nd down and 10 for Calgary on their own 35. Dillard trying to make that cut. Lost his footing, so that field must be a little hard down there. The cleats may not be holding, Brad. 1 minute and 59 seconds in this opening half. Parsons over the ball. Here's Eagle Day bootlegging. There's the sideline pass, and it is good to Manning. Manning drills it off. Said he dug it out of the ground. Manning. So it is 3rd down. And this will force the Stampeders into a kicking situation against this wind. And with time running out in this first half, the clock is now stopped. It's 1:43 on the clock. Latterell and Jensen back to receive. Jim Furlong, number 70, will do the punting. The wind is blowing the ball around. Furlong will kick from his own 20. It could be a desperate punt for Big Jim. Bomber line ready to charge. There it goes. And he gets it away, but it's not deep. It's coming down on about the 45. They all go for it. There's a fumble. Let's see who's got it now. Well, they are living dangerously. They're bringing it back to the 46. Number 11 is playing. They're talking to his coach, Bud Grant. Ron Latterell recovered that fumble. It's 1st and 10 Bombers on the Calgary Stampeders 46. 1 minute and 17 seconds. Score, Calgary 10, Winnipeg Blue Bombers 6. I can't recall a game we've had so many fumbles bad this year.
And the weather is the factor. Even in the rain out of the coast, you don't see this many fumbles. Of course, it doesn't rain that much, but when it does.
We've got 2 seasons out there, July the 1st and rainy season. Here's playing, dropping back. He's looking for his receiver. He has to hurry it, and he gets it away. Intended for... Willie Hector was in there putting the rush on. It was intended for Lewis, so it'll be 2nd down. Minute flag is now up. There it is. Veteran timekeeper Jimmy Dunn. So it'll be 2nd down and 10 to go. The ball's still on Calgary's 46. Time running now, 47. 5. Here's Leo Lewis flanking wide to the left, top of your screen, can't see him. Here's the plane going back to throw. He drops back deep. He goes for the big bomb. Is intended for Lewis. Lewis can't get to it. He was being covered by Bill Miller. 3rd down and 10. So it'll be 3rd and 10 for the Bombers on the Calgary Stampeders 46-yard line. Jack Delvaux will likely come in to punt as Leo Lewis, 29, going to the Bomber bench. And Delvaux will kick from about the 51-yard line with Wiley and Miller back. And he could give it a ride with this wind. Here's the snap to him. He has a little problem. He gets it away. Wiley lets it roll over. Rather, Miller lets it roll over his head, and it goes deep into the end zone. They concede the point and the score. Winnipeg Blue Bombers 7, the Calgary Stampeders 10, with 16 seconds remaining in the first half of the ball game. Calgary take over on their own 25. 1st and 10. Our spotter is Mike Sims, and our official statistician is Al Vickery tonight. 1st and 10, Calgary on their own 25. Calgary running out the clock. Here's the last play of the first half. Eagle Day hands off to Lunsford. Lunsford slants off tackle to his right. He picks up 5, and he's brought down as the gun sounds to end the first half of the ball game. With the score, Calgary Stampeders 10 and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 7. This football broadcast between the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Calgary Stampeders. Hello again, everyone. This is Jack Wells along with Brad Keene, welcoming you from the Winnipeg Stadium for the second half of the ball game between the Calgary Stampeders and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The score, Calgary 10, Bombers 7. 20-degree weather here in Winnipeg tonight with a strong northwest wind, 21 gusting to 29 miles an hour. Calgary Stampeders already on the bench on the far side of the field, which is the east side of the stadium here, in their all-red jerseys, white piping. Their home uniforms. Bombers come out now in the white-colored uniforms, blue pants. Calgary will have the wind in the 3rd quarter. Bombers in the 4th and final. And the Bombers will kick off to the Calgary Stampeders to open the second half of the ball game tonight in a real tight one. So it boils down to a half a game now. Deep men going back for Calgary. Number 20, Jim Dillard. And number 21 is Harvey Wiley. Placing the ball in the kickoff tee is number 28, Jerry James. He'll do the kickoff for the Bombers. He's a left-footed kicker. You notice that some of the players are wearing sneakers, and here we go. Here's James' short kickoff, and it's taken by Bill Britton. Britton is up to the 45, up to about the 47. He is hit by Jack Delvaux, number 23. First and 10, Calgary on their own 47-yard line. Paid attendance here tonight is around 12,500. And we have an injured ball player as the trainer of the Bombers, Gord Mackey, goes out onto the field on the opening play of the second half. It's number 61, Roger Hamlin. Calgary go back into the huddle. They had their play all designated. Here's Hamlin talking to Bud Grant, the coach on the sidelines. Neil Thomas got in place. Now we're all set to go. And here's the Eagle getting that swing pass away to Buchanan. He's on the 45. He's running wide. He's on the 50. He cuts back in. He's on the 55. He's up to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 51-yard line where he's brought down by Norm Rawhouse, number 70. That'll be close to a first down, if not a first down. It is the first down, so Calgary moved the yardsticks on their first offensive play of the second half. They lead 10-7, and the ball is on the Bomber 51-yard line. Both coaches, Bobby Dobbs of the Calgary Stampeders, Bud Grant of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, likely have adjusted at the half. The flanker is number 15, Larry Robinson. The Eagle goes back to throw. He's got to hurry. There it is, and he overthrows on the far side of the field, intended for number 28, Buchanan. So it'll be second down and 10.
The Eagle got stormed by Steve Patrick and Nick Miller.
So it'll be second down and 10 to go for the Calgary Stampeders on their own, on the Bombers 51. They lead 10-7. Robinson again flanks to the right, indicating it may be a pass play, and it is. Here's Eagle. He's got to hurry it again. He goes throwing long, intended for Manning, and he overthrows him. Can't get to him. Gordy Rowland was shadowing on him. There is a marker on the play. Marker on the play down at the Bombers 40-yard line. And here's the signal. Illegal interference against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. First and 10, Calgary. On the Bombers' 39-yard line. Illegal interference charged against the Bombers. Defensive interference. First and 10, Calgary. They have the wind, as Jim Coleman pointed out at the half there, and I agree with him. Calgary may regret that they never picked up enough points in the first quarter of the ball game when they had the win. They went for 4 singles. Here's Blaine, or rather Day, shooting, and it's incomplete. Intended for Manning again, Pete Manning, number 74, but he was being covered by 2 ball players, Gordy Rowland and Henry Jansen. So it is second down and 10. Fans are certainly huddled close together in the stands tonight. Robinson again, number 15, flanks right, double fullbacks. And again, the Eagle is taken to the air. Air is going long again, intended for Buchanan, and once again he overthrows Buchanan, and once again he is being shadowed there by number 32, Henry Jansen. It's third and 10 for Calgary. That may be that Bobby Dobbs said, well, Eagle, you better get out there and throw in this third quarter, Brad.
It's an important one for any club with a win, especially the last time around for the win.
Number 31 is Latterell, 32 is Jansen, and Jim Furlong taking from the Bombers 54. And it goes into touch at about the 5-yard line. There's football broadcast between the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Calgary Stampeders coming to you from Winnipeg. First and 10. First and 10 for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers on their own 6-yard line. Number 11, Plain, goes in at the pivot. For the Bombers, these 2 clubs strapping to see who will represent Western Canada December the 1st in CNE Stadium in Toronto. For the big one, first and 10. Flanker right, double fullbacks. And the pitch out is to Charlie Shepard, and Shepard is blitzed this time by Bill Britton, a roving linebacker for Calgary. It's short yardage. It'll be second down for the Bombers on about the line of scrimmage. Matter of fact, there may be short loss on the play.
That was good
Calgary
defense.
going into their defensive huddle. Go ahead, Brad.
Good defensive call by the defensive captain and a good rush by Britton, who lined up on the line of scrimmage and just blitzed right through and nailed Shepard before he could get much steam up.
Second down, 10 to go. A little better than 10. And here's Plain going back to throw. He's trying to find that receiver. Ooh, just off the fingertips of Leo Lewis, number 29. Being covered by Jim Furlong and Jerry Keeling, number 10. So they're bringing the ball back to the line of scrimmage, and it'll be third down on the 6th. Delvaux or Shepard, one of the two. 21, Shepard is going in there. He'll likely do the punting then. And the deep man for Calgary, not too deep, by the way. Bill Miller, 25. 21 is Hob Wiley. And it's going to be Shepard kicking from about 8 yards over his own goal line into this brisk breeze. There's a snap to him. It's low. He's got to hurry it. And it's a short kick. Miller waits for it, takes it on the 35. He's grounded on the 35 by Rod Humanock, who was first down. It'll be 1st and 10 Calgary. 1st and 10 Calgary.
With 11.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter, the score is Calgary 10, Winnipeg 7. Bringing VA professional football to fans in the East and in the West is part of VA service, fit for a cake.
1st and 10 Calgary. Handoff is to Earl Lunsford. Earl the Pearl is referred to, and he's brought down after a gain of 4 by Gar Warren, number 44. It'll be 2nd down and 6 for Calgary on the Bombers' 32-yard line. Score is 10-7 for Calgary at this point. Man in motion in the handoff again is to Lunsford, and he slants off tackle to his right. There's a loose ball. It's recovered by the Calgary Stampeders. But they're marking the ball back to the point of advancement there for Lunsford. Jim Dillard recovered that loose ball. It'll be 3rd down.
Gar Warren did some nice defensive work on that. He sniffed the play out and moved over before the ball was even snapped.
So the Calgary Stampeders drive bogs down on the 27, and once again the Stamps will go for a field goal from Larry Robson on the 35-yard line. He has the favoring wind. He's tried 2 tonight. There's the snap, and he sends it, and it's wide, and it's rolling deep into the Bomber end zone. It'll roll to the deadline for a single point, and Calgary increased their lead 11-7 on a single point. But those placements of Calgary, they've had 3 shots at the goal post this evening and came away on each occasion with only 3 points instead of a possible 9. 1st and 10 Bombers on their 25.
You don't mind if I sit a little closer to you, do you?
I know somebody's shaking me pretty good here. 1st and 10 for the Bombers. Bombers have taken a long time in their huddles tonight. Ken Plain still at the quarterback. Here's Plain in the handoff. It's to Shepard off tackle to his right, and Shepard plows up to about the 33-yard line. Stopped by number 60, Pat Holmes. 21 is Shepard. And it'll be 2nd down and about 2.5. Second down and 2.5 yards to go for the Bombers on their own 30, about 33. 9 minutes and 53 seconds in this quarter. Lewis is the wide flanker left. And the handoff is to Roger Hagberg, trying to pick up that short yardage. He's stopped by Wayne Harris, number 55. Harris was named the outstanding lineman in the West. Now referee Paul Dojak looks this one over closely. Plain, the captain for the Bombers, and here come the yardsticks for the measurement. Grant? Well, I have a slug of that real hot chocolate.
I just had some. I got some coffee here, and, you know, it's a funny thing. I usually drink it black, but it's got cream and sugar in it today, and right at this point, and I couldn't care less as long as it's hot. It's a 3rd down situation just by inches.
3rd and less than 1 for the Bombers. Just nudging their own 35. 9 minutes and 29 seconds in this quarter. Calgary won the first game, 20-14 last Saturday afternoon in McMahon Stadium in Calgary. And if they win tonight, they're on their way. Playing hands off to Shepard, and Shepard has just picked up enough yardage, and that is all. So it's 1st and 10 for the Bombers. Blocking there was center George Drucksmann, giving Shepard enough room to get through for the first down. The ball is now on the Bombers' 36. They've moved from their own 25. Calgary defense, kind of a staggered defense, but they make their moves as soon as the Bombers come out of the huddle, which is now. And here's the handoff to Latterell. He gets away from one would-be tackler, but he's pulled down by number 22, Lavelle Coleman, who got him with an arm tackle for a loss on the play, back to the Bombers' 30. Wayne Harris was blitzing on the play. Nearly had Latterell for a deeper loss than that, so it'll be 2nd down and about 14 yards to go. Score 11-7 for the Calgary Stampeders over the Bombers. Flanker is Leo Lewis. He's wide to the right. And here's Plain looking for a jump pass. He is smeared. Oh, they converged on him as Larry Anderson and Jim Furlong, number 60, and Ernie Dangine and Pat Holmes. How would you like to have those four in on you?
I wouldn't want to have any one of Pat Holmes particularly, but that was that little look-in pass to Funston that they've tried on 2 occasions in the first half. And Funston was covered, Plain looked the other way, and Furlong was looking him right in the eyes.
So Shepard will punt from his own 20-yard line. It's either Miller or Wiley. There's the snap to Shepard. Gets it away. And it bounces in front of Jerry Keeling. It's picked up by Britton. Britton is brought down on the 55-yard strike. This football broadcast between the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Calgary Stampeders coming to you from Winnipeg. First and 10 Calgary, almost on the midfield stripe. Just nudged inside their own territory. 7 minutes and 10 seconds in the third quarter. Larry Robson flanks to the right. And here's Eagle Day, and he hits on that short look-in pass to number 20, Dillard. Jimmy Dillard, brought down by Nick Millard. It's a 5-yard gain, 2nd and 5. Ball is on the Bomber 50. So it's 2nd and 10, 2nd and 5 for the Stamps. 6 minutes and 41 seconds. Stamps would dearly love to get in there close for a big score in this one. They'll have to go against the wind in the last quarter. And once again, Eagle Day goes in, and another look-in pass to Dillard, and he's brought down on the 45, and it could be a first down. He's stopped by Dave Burkholder. And it also could be a measurement as referee Paul Dojak looks it over. Bill Nairn, the senior umpire. It's 1st and 10 as referee Paul Dojak indicates on the Bombers' 45. Number 14, Thornton, playing on the corner, is wearing sneakers. That's the longest Calgary have taken in a huddle, Brad. Robinson again, flanks out. And here's Day going back to throw. He's got to hurry it. There's a long one intended for Robinson, and he overthrows him. Herb Gray was pressuring Day on the play. So it'll be 2nd down.
I think Eagle Day is very much aware of the fact that they've only got 5 minutes left in the quarter, approximately 5.5 actually. And it's the last time they'll have the win, and he's going all out to get that touchdown. They only lead by 4 points.
On those long passes, the big bombs, Brad, I guess that wind carries that ball. He can't hit the receivers so well, and here's Day going back again. There he throws. It's intercepted. Wide Rawhouse on the 30, up to the 35, up to the 40. A nice tackle by Bill Crawford. All those fans are wild and woolly tonight.
With 5 minutes, 35 seconds remaining in the third quarter, the score Calgary 11, Winnipeg 7. Mr. BA is glad to bring you all televised playoff games and invites you to turn in and see the complete line of BA Sentinel tires, including the great new Winter Way.
That was Rawhouse's second interception of this series. He got one in Calgary Saturday afternoon that set up a touchdown. Third interception against Day in the series. And here's the handoff to Shepard, and he's runs right into Wayne Harris. It'll be a gain of 4, 2nd and 6. Number 55 is Harris. They're all slow getting up. And Lavelle Coleman is playing a tremendous defensive game for this Calgary club.
That was one of Eagle Day's worst passes that we've seen in some time. He didn't come anywhere near his receiver, and he hit Rawhouse square on. I don't think Norm had to take 2 steps to pull that one out of the air.
Second down and about 6 to go for the Bombers on their own 44. 4 minutes and 45 seconds in this third quarter. The score is 11-7. Bombers out of the huddle. Latterell flanking to the right. Handoff is to Leo Lewis. He's going to throw. There he goes. He throws to Latterell, and Latterell makes the catch. He's on the 55 to the 50. He may be all the way. He's on the 35, and he is brought down on about the 20-yard line by Lavelle Coleman. Let's see where they put that ball. Can you hear me, Mother? So it's 1st and 10 for the Bombers on the Calgary 23 as Lewis hits Latterell. On the pitch out, it went 46 yards on the pass and run. That's a big play for the Blues. Playing hands off to Hagberg again. Hagberg slants off tackle to his right, and he's stopped out about the 18-yard line by Harvey Wiley and Pat Holmes. Wait a minute, we have a fumble here. Let's see who's got it. There's an indication down there from the Calgary Stampeders. They were a little jubilant. We'll wait and see from referee Paul Gojak. It's 1st and 10 for Calgary as Hagberg fumbled when he was hit. And Calgary recover on their own 19.
There's another big break, if you can refer to it. It's a break for Calgary, and it's an unfortunate thing, of course, for the Bombers. But this could have been a big factor in this particular sequence of plays if the Bombers had been able to continue. A magnificent effort by Latterell.
3 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in this third and vital quarter for the Stampeders. And Eagle Day hands off to Lunsford again. He slants off tackle to his left. Stopped by Garwan, number 44. Blocking was Bill Crawford. Wayne comes in for the Bombers on defense in place of Norm Rawhouse. So they must be anticipating a deep pass here. And here fakes the quick kick. Wiley tosses a short pass, and it's taken by Eagle Day. Day is on the 25, and he's run into touch on about the 25-yard line by Gordy Rowland on a second down play.
Now there's a play, Jack, in their formation, and a quick kick that tips itself off before it even gets underway, because Robinson always drops back to go onside, and that tips the hat right there, and the blitz was on Wiley, and that's what happened.
Well, Savoy was in on Wiley, so it's third down and about 3 yards to go for Calgary. The ball is on the Stampeders 25, forcing them to give up the ball at 3 minutes and 21 seconds. Latterell 31, Jansen 32, right in front of the Calgary bench. And here's Jim Furlong back in his own 11. And he sails that one deep, and waiting for it is Jansen on his own 35. Fakes the pitch out, cuts back in on the 40, and he's brought down on about the 43 by Larry Anderson.
With 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter, the score Calgary 11 and Winnipeg 7. And your Mr. B.A. is happy to bring you televised pro football, as well as service fit for a king all year round.
Well, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Bombers on their own 43-yard line with 3 minutes and 3 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Calgary lead 11-7. If Calgary win this ball game, they're on the way to the Grey Cup. If the Bombers win, we'll have another one Saturday afternoon right here at the Winnipeg Stadium.
Bring your own sun lamps.
Playing in at the pivot. And the handoff is to Charlie Shepard and a straight-ahead dive play. And Shepard picks up about 5, stopped by Wayne Harris again and Pat Holmes. Larry Anderson in on it. Number 54 is Raj Humanick. It's a gain of about 4. It'll be 2nd and 6. The ball is on the Bombers' 47. 11-7 for Calgary. Calgary defense getting set. And you'll see them move around as soon as the Bombers declare their formation. There they go. 2nd and 6. The handoff is to Hagberg, and Hagberg is trapped for a loss on the play by Willie Hector. So it'll be 3rd down. And there's a loss of about 2 yards on the play. It's back to the 45. That sends the deep men back. Those punt receivers have been working overtime tonight. Billy Miller, 25, and 21 is Harvey Wiley. Shepard kicking from his own 31 into the wind. Line is down. There's the snap. It's a good one. He gets behind it, but not too deep. Taken by Lavelle Coleman. Coleman is trapped on about the 32-yard line by Norm Rawhouse and Farrell Funston, 71. 1st and 10. Calgary on their own 31-yard line. Bomber bench. 77 is Pitts.
They really are blue. They're cool.
1 minute and 28 seconds in this 3rd quarter. And the score, 11-7. Calgary out of the huddle. Here's the reverse. The handoff is to Buchanan. He's going wide. Trying to get a block there. He can't find any. And he's going to be thrown for a loss by Jack Delbo, number 23. Gordy Rowland was forcing Buchanan back. So it'll be 2nd down. And there's a loss of about 4 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd and 14 on the Calgary 25 with less than a minute to play in the 3rd quarter, and the Bombers have held the Stampeders at this point to 1 point with the win. And here's the handoff to Lunsford. Lunsford strapping all his way for the extra yardage. He's going to be short of a 1st down he was brought down by Gordy Rowland. So it'll be 3rd down. And let's see what yardage they have. They have about 2 to go. 3rd and 2. So Jim Furlong will try and dig the Bombers deep because this will be the last offensive play for Calgary in this quarter. There's 26 seconds remaining. Well, unless there's a fumble and they recover, of course. There's the snap to Furlong. And he is riding that ball deep. And once again, it's Jansen. He bobbles the ball on the 25, and he is grounded on about the 26. Ooh, that downfield tackle of Pete Manning. There's the boy that came to play. Number 74. Great offensive end. 1st and 10 for the Bombers on their own 26. 10 seconds on the clock.
Of course, Manning came to Calgary by way of that 4-for-1 trade with Joe Cap.
That's right. When Vancouver.
Indirectly.
Obradovich was in on that trail. Walden.
Joe Cap. And Bruce Claridge.
1st and 10. Bombers on their own 26. Calgary leads 11-7. Handoff is to Pepe Latterell, and Latterell is stopped on the 30 by Wayne Harris as the gun sounds after a gain of about 4. The score is 11-7 in favor of the Calgary Stampeders. This football broadcast between the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Calgary Stampeders coming to you from Winnipeg.
Okay, everybody up. An interesting scene is about to unfold.
You're looking at one of the cleanest liquids in the world. It's newly manufactured gasoline, cleaner than the water we drink and the air we breathe. But all gasolines can pick up tiny impurities between the refinery and your car, causing poor engine performance and costly repairs. BA Research has found the answer. This bright red final filter on every BA pump. This special filter element screens out impurities as the gasoline enters your car. No, you can't buy gasoline at the refinery, but you can get the cleanest on the Canadian road. BA Final Filtered Gasoline. Another example of continuing leadership from BA.
Clean across Canada.
We'll be back here Saturday.
Well, we've had a couple of changes. Dave Burkholder has gone in offensively for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in place of Piper. Freddie Fleming has come in for the Calgary Stampeders in place of Larry Anderson.
We have some statistics thus far in the contest. First downs, Winnipeg 12, Calgary 8. 104 yards rushing for the Bombers against 71 for Calgary. Passing, Winnipeg 6 for 13, or 6 out of 13 for 73 yards. 5 out of 14, 32 yards, Calgary.
2nd and 6 for the Calgary Stampeders, and they've drawn the Calgary Stampeders offside with that quick kick, and it's going back to Harvey Wiley. Wiley makes a great catch. He's surrounded by tacklers on his own 35, and he's brought down on the 36. And the Stampeders were offside. Freddie Fleming jumping the gun. They drew him offside. It'll be 2nd down over again and about 2 to go. That's the 2nd time tonight on that quick kick play of the Bombers that they've drawn the Stampeders offside. It's 2nd and 1. Well, now in the ball game, 14 minutes and 37 seconds, 11-7 for the Calgary Stampeders. It's all or nothing at all right now for the Bombers. And the Calgary Stampeders trying to get down to the Grey Cup final for the first time since 1949. They won it in 48, an undefeated season under Les Lear. Repeated in 49 and lost to Montreal. The handoff is to Roger Hagberg, and Hagberg picks up enough yardage for a first down, stopped by Bill Britton, number 11. So it's 1st and 10 Bombers. Ernie Dangine is slow getting up, but I think he's just lost his shoe. How'd you like to be running around out there barefoot tonight? One thing about it, Brad, they're giving a service on this hot coffee.
Man, it's just like antifreeze right now.
Yeah, it's Ernie Dangine, number 54, carrying the shoe, and he's sitting in the middle of the field with the trainers helping him put it on. There's Ernie Dangine, a great ball player. When you speak of ball players coming to play, you have to include Mr. Dangine, little boy Ernie there.
I think it goes a little further than just losing his shoe, Jack. He apparently has injured his foot.
Well, if he has, he'll have to go out for one play. That's Taylor Patterson, the official, standing by him. Well, 20 degrees temperature.
Phil Loman has come into the game, possibly to back up the line along with Wayne Harris in place of Dangine.
Well, there goes Big Ern. So it's first and 10 for the Bombers on their own 38-yard line. They have the favoring wind, and it is brisk. 21 up to 29 miles an hour from the northwest. 4-point spread. May or may not be enough. We'll have to wait and see. And here's Plain dropping back, looking for his receivers. Gets all the time in the world. He's trying to hit Funston, and Funston makes the catch. He's up to the 20, the 15. He's brought down by Lavelle Coleman from behind on the 14-yard line. So Farrell Funston, who has played very sparingly the last half of the regular season, came in with a big one, 57 yards. So it's 1st and 10 for the Bombers on the Calgary Stampeders 14-yard line. Now the crowd are sensing the big rally. And the pitch on is to Charlie Shepard. He gets away from one would-be tackler, and he goes up to about the 6. He's stopped by Willie Hector.
With 13 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, the score is Calgary 11 and Winnipeg 7. BA dealers, agents, and distributors are happy to bring you all Canadian professional football telecasts and to offer you the finest in products and service.
It's 2nd and 2 for the Bombers on the Calgary 7. They break the huddle. Handoff is to Roger Hagberg, and Hagberg is stopped on the 5. He may have made it. Willie Hector again, number 45. Referee Paul Dojak moves in there swiftly. And it's 3rd down and a yard to go. 3rd and 1.
Talk about your big plays, Jack. This is it.
Right now, a lot hinges on this. 11-7 is the score. 4-point spread. Bombers threatening on the Calgary 5. timeout was called by the referee. That is an injured player for the Bombers. It's Frank Rigney, number 67, coming to the bench. And Dave Burkholder will likely be his replacement. He's getting final instructions from Bud Grant, the coach of the Bombers. There goes Burkholder into the game. Fans are yelling at the Bomber coach to come on. 11-7 is the score. 4-point spread. Bombers threatening on the Calgary 5. Timeout is called by the referee. That is an injured player for the Bombers. It's Frank Rigney, number 67, coming to the bench. And Dave Burkholder will likely be his replacement. He's getting final instructions from Bud Grant, the coach of the Bombers. There goes Burkholder into the game. Fans are yelling at the Bomber coach to come on. 12 minutes and 15 seconds to full time. Bombers in a 3rd-and-1 situation on the Calgary 5.
You can bet that this play, Jack, will be a Bud Grant play.
We'll see what kind of a quarterback he is then. Once again, the Bombers taking a long time in the huddle. And here's Payne going back to throw. On this one, he's going to run. He's on the 10, the 5, he's over for the touchdown. The Bombers take the lead for the first time tonight by a score of 13-11 on Plain's 5-yard touchdown run on the runner pass. Now James will go for the extra point. The score is 13-11. Plain will hold. James will kick. He's had 3 field goals to his credit tonight. As the snap, it's up. It's no good. It was deflected there by Pat Holmes, number 60. So the Bombers have a 2-point edge. Oh, now we can talk about the possibility of a tie ball game, Brad.
Well, regardless of Winnipeg win or they wind up in a tie, there is still going to be another football game here on Saturday.
So Bombers will kick off to Calgary. They have the favoring wind. Jim Dillard is number 20. Number 21 is Harvey Wiley. And placing the ball on the kickoff tee is Jerry James, the left-footed kicker. Referee Paul Dojak whistles in time. Oh, it's deep. Wiley's waiting for it. He takes it on his 3. He's on the 5, the 10, the 15, the 20, the 25. He's up to the 30. A fine run back by Harvey Wiley. The football broadcast between the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Calgary Stampeders coming to you from Winnipeg. There's a marker on the play, and we haven't had the indication from Paul Dojak, but they're bringing the ball back. We'll wait for Mr. Dojak to give the call. Here it is. Fraction against the Calgary Stampeders. And we're looking it up. Anyway, they're placing the ball on the 55.
Possibly something to do with the restraining line, Jack.
I think it is. Maybe not enough men on the restraining line. They have to have 6, Brad. And that's where the flag was dropped. So Wiley and Dillard are now back 10 yards over their own goal line. And the ball was blown off the kickoff tee. There's James again, and he digs it deep. And this time it goes to Dillard. It gets by Dillard, and it rolls all the way to the deadline.
We'll have to do it again, Jack.
Get off again.
These things always seem to happen in a key game.
Well, there's a lot riding on this ball game for both sides. And I know that both teams are really keyed up. Referee Paul Dojak once again getting the ball. He's surrounded by Bomber players. And once again, Harvey Wiley and Jimmy Dillard drop back. Coming in for the Bombers is Norm Rawhouse, number 70. And there's quite a discussion going on. So it's back to the 55-yard line. 11 minutes and 29 seconds to full time here, with the Bombers leading 13-11. Thornton is holding this time, and this time it's not too deep. And here is Dillard getting it on his own 10. Swings off to his left, lining up behind the blockers. He's on the 15. He's on the 20. Gets a good block. He's on the 25. He's on the 30. And he's up to the 35-yard line before he is stopped by Norm Rawhouse. And I think that was just about the same point where Harvey Wiley ran back the original kickoff. So we're right back where we started. 1st and 10, Calgary. On their own 35. They trail by 2 points. And more of those missed field goals, Brad, are looming large here in this game.
The margin of about 6 points, Jack.
Here's Earl Lunsford, and they blitzed on Lunsford, brought him down on the line of scrimmage. Herb Gray shooting in from his defensive end spot. No gain on the play. 2nd and 10. It's right on the 35. 13-11. In Bombers' favor. The first time they've had the lead tonight. And the end is split, and here is Eagle Day handing off to Earl Lunsford, and Lunsford picks up short yardage, 3 yards, stopped by Savoy. It'll be 3rd down on about 7. Forcing the Stampeders to kick into this gusty breeze. 3rd and 7.
Isn't there something about a wind chill factor that the Army came up with? If the temperature's 20 degrees and there's a 29-mile-an-hour wind, it's like 10 above and no wind or something.
Well, I know this much. They're not using any suntan lotion out here tonight. Or mosquito repellent. There's the snap to Furlong. Gets a pretty good kick away into that wind, and it bounces past Latterell, and Latterell has to go all the way back to his own 35, and that's the end of the line. He's brought down on about the 36 by Phil Loman.
With 10 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter, the score is Winnipeg 13 and Calgary 11. Neat premises, tidy restrooms, and the cleanest gasolines you can buy. All from VA. Clean across Canada.
1st and 10, Bombers on their own 36-yard line. Number 11, Plain goes into the pivot for the Bombers. And you can expect that the Bombers will try to contain that ball now. With the favoring wind, it makes it tough on a club to go against it tonight. Shepard is a flanker wide to the right, number 21. Single fullback is Hagberg. The handoff is to Leo Lewis. Lewis gets away from one tackler. He's up to the 40, up to about the 41. Stopped by Wayne Harris. And Ernie Danjean, number 54. Number 21, Harvey Wiley. So it is 2nd down and about 3 yards to go for the Bombers on their own 43. Plain pitches out to Shepard, and Shepard is contained by Willie Hector. And there may be a short loss on the play. Is there a marker out there? We've just had a communique from a group of Calgary fans, and I guess we can read it, and we will. The Calgary fans are disappointed with a poor show of sportsmanship on the part of the Winnipeg fans in regard to cheering while the Calgary Stampeders are on the offense. That is when Eagle Day comes out of the huddle. So we have a holding penalty here. It's 3rd down for the Bombers, and they have about 4 yards to go. Shepard dropping back to his own 29. He's got the big wind behind him. There's a snap to him. Gets it away. Harvey Wiley coming up on the ball. Lets it bounce in front of him. He takes it on the 20, on the 25, and he's brought down. Pardon me, it's Miller, number 25. Sherwin Thornton, number 55, levels off on him. 1st and 10, Calgary on their own 25-yard line. The score, 13-11.
And that wind is still blasting in gusts as high as 29 miles an hour out of the northwest, right into the teeth of Calgary right at this point, and they've got 2 points to make up to tie the game.
Here are the Stampeders. They come out
Here's Eagle Day going to throw, and he gets that swing pass away, and it's taken by McKinnon, and he runs it. There's a fumble, picked up. Oh, and they lateral it there. Let's see who got it. Lavelle Coleman was the original receiver. And referee Paul Dojak is placing the ball on the Calgary 31. It's second down and 4. It's a 6-yard gain. Ron Albright got the loose ball as it popped out of Coleman's hand. So it is second down and about 4. Here's a new formation for Calgary. Here's Eagle Day going out to the right, and he overthrows Buchanan. Ed Buchanan, number 28 on him, was Jack Delville, 23. Third and 4. Third down. There's Latterell, number 31. Jansen, number 32. Jimmy Furlong, number 70. Back on his own 13-yard line. Calgary just looking for that big break. And here's the kick, and it drops in front of Latterell and bounces by him again. He takes it on the 55 and steps into touch at the midfield stripe. It was George Hansen who was down with the kick. And it'll be first and 10 Bombers right at center field.
Jack, this could very well continue right up to the end of the ball game, as the Bombers have got that 2-point lead with the wind advantage, and they're going to try and preserve it as long as they can. And they'll be quite content to give the ball after $2 and a kick to Calgary and then hold them off, and we'll just keep going and run out the clock.
Well, McLean, I don't think will do much passing in this remaining portion of this half. We have 7 minutes and 54 seconds. Bombers lead 13-11, and they have possession, and the ball is on the Calgary 54-yard line. That's where they have placed it on the hash marks on the east side of the field. Double flankers to the right, Latterell and Lewis. And here's Plain going back, and we said he wasn't going to throw, and here he's getting brought down for a loss by Don Leslie, who had the charge on him. Number 62, Big Don, was in there to bring Plain down for a 10-yard loss. So it's second and 20 for the Bombers on their own 45. With 7 minutes and 14 seconds, and the clock is running. That play, of course, is credited as a rushing play because Plain didn't get the pass away, and the clock continues to run. 7 minutes and 1 second.
You'll probably see a lot of blitzing now on the part of Calgary's defense.
Bombers over the ball. And here's the fake quick kick. Here's Plain, and he hits one down the middle, and it's intercepted by Jerry Keeling. Keeling is on the 55 up to the 50. Cuts in, he still has it, and he's run into touch on the Bombers 47. There's football broadcast between the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Calgary Stampeders, coming to you from Winnipeg. On the Bombers' 47-yard line. This may be the break they're looking for. Robinson flanks to the left. Here's Eagle throwing, and it's knocked down. Nick Miller had a chance on an interception. Number 24. Roger Savoy had the rush on Eagle Day.
I was just going to say that, and Steve Patrick was also in there, and the pass went awry, almost intercepted by Gar Warren.
They'll stay here to the bitter conclusion now. 6 minutes and 17 seconds. Robinson flags, and here's Eagle Day coming out, looking for his receiver, and it is incomplete. Knocked down by Gar Warren, intended for Jim Dillard, down the middle. So it'll be third down.
Now here's another case. What do you do? Do you kick or try and go for it, or what? And it looks like they're going to go for a kick.
Latterell comes off the bench along with number 32, Jansen. And Bobby Dobbs sends in his kicker, Jimmy Furlong. Furlong kicking from his own 50. There's the snap. Gets it away, and once again it's to Latterell, and Latterell is brought down on the 22-yard line by Dale Parsons, number 47. First and 10 Bombers, and where are they placing that ball? They've moved it back a couple of yards, back to the Bombers' 23. So it's first and 10 Bombers. Plain goes in. 5 minutes and 55 seconds, 13-11.
Do you know what the long-range weather forecast is for Saturday, Jack, by any means?
I don't know, but it's going to be nice in Jamaica in February, I think. First and 10. Bombers come out. Here's playing the handoff to Charlie Shepard, and Shepard is brought down on about the 26. It'll be a gain of about 3. Pat Holmes was the tackler. Number 60, Pat Holmes. So it is 2nd down and 7 for the Bombers on their own 26-yard line. Now time is of the utmost importance. Calgary defense gets set as soon as the Bombers come out of the huddle. And as you notice, the Bombers take that extra time in the huddle now. Backfield in motion, and here's a handoff to Leo Lewis. Lewis jumps over the line, and he's up to the 35, he's up to the 40, he's up to the 45, up to the 47. Jerry Keeley and Wayne Harris finally catch up with the Lincoln locomotive. Ooh, there was a burst. Talking about big plays, Brad, I guess that has to be.
That pulled him right out of it.
One of them.
He had the fire stoked up on that one, Jack, and it took 3 to contain him.
So it is 1st and 10 Bombers on their own 47-yard line. With 4 minutes and 39 seconds, the clock is running. Lateral is the flanker to the left. Double fullbacks of Hagberg and Shepard. Here's a handoff to Hagberg, and Hagberg slants off tackle to his left and is brought down on the 51-yard line by Bill Britton after a gain of about 4. So it'll be 2nd and 6. Guess Ernie Dan Jean wasn't hurt on that play we were remarking about earlier, Brad, because he's back in that ball game and he had a piece of Mr. Hagberg. Four minutes even. 13-11 for the Bombers. Double flankers, rather a single flanker right, double fullbacks. And here's playing on the quarterback sneak, and he dives up center, and he's stopped by Ernie Dan Jean, and also Harvey Wiley, who had him low, but it's a first down. First and 10 for the Bombers on the Calgary 50.
There's an example of a good call by Plain. They weren't expecting a quarterback sneak on that one.
It was more of a dive play, a drive play than anything, I think. Here's Laterell taking a handoff from Plain and picks up 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. Wayne Harris again, number 55.
With 3 minutes and 9 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter, the score is Winnipeg 13, Calgary 11. Your neighborhood British American dealer hopes you are enjoying this telecast and invites you to turn in for products fit for a king.
2:56 to go in the ball game, and it is 2nd down and about 7 yards to go for the Bombers inside the Calgary territory on the 48. Here's Plain handing off to Leo Lewis, who's lined up as a fullback, and Lewis strapping down to the 40, and it may be a first down, taken by Larry Anderson, taken out by Anderson. Number 51, Rod Humanek, taking a big block. So it's 1st and 10 Bombers on the Calgary 40. The score 13-11, a 2-point spread. And this has been one of those hard-socking ball games. Calgary bench all lined up along the sidelines. They're not sitting down. Here's a handoff to Hagberg, and Hagberg on a dive play. Stopped by Willie Hector, 45, along with Bill Crawford, number 50. And number 54 there is Rod Humanek, who is doing the blocking.
We just got a telegram from the Montreal fans. It says, good luck to Calgary. See you in the Grey Cup against the Alouettes.
Well, you know, strange things have happened in football. Those Calgary Montreal Alouettes are only 11 points behind. There's 1 minute and 43 seconds, and they go at it against the Hamilton Tiger Cats Saturday afternoon. If Bombers win this one, we'll have one out here, too. And here's a handoff to Laterell, and he finds a hole over right tackle. He's on the 25. He's down to the 20. Out by Jerry Keeley. Number 31, Heavy Laterell. All of a sudden, the Bombers have started to explode along the ground. And the ball is on the Bombers' 21. 1 minute and 28 seconds. 13-11. Going to be a mad scramble for tickets. The game finishes this way, Brad, for Saturday.
And thermos bottles.
Bombers taking all the time they can possibly afford in the huddle. Playing has the double fullbacks again as Latterell to the right of the flanker. And the handoff is to Leo Lewis, and Lewis trying to find that hole as he tucks the ball underneath his arm and goes to the 15, stopped by Billy Britton and Don Leslie, number 62. It's a gain of 5, 2nd and 5. Now we have less than a minute to play. There's the Bomber bench, number 44, as Gar Warren. 28 is James. Bud Grant, the coach, along with Bob Jones, the trainer, the equipment manager. And we have a penalty against the Calgary Stampeders here. Roughing, pulling a nose guard. Pulling a nose guard. Minute flag, less than a minute to go, 56 seconds. So it is 1st and goal to go for the Bombers on the Calgary 9. Lewis is out to the left. And here's playing the handoff is to Pepe Latterell. He loses footing, but he still goes up to the 5. Stopped by Larry Anderson. There's one thing I like about a best-of-3 series, Brad, instead of a total point series. We're going to looks like we may get another game. And those total point series, the club can burst out like Calgary did against Regina for 25 points in the first game. Kind of takes the frosting off the cake. The Calgary bench lined up in front of their bench. They're standing up. Bombers out of the huddle. 2nd and 5. 5 to go for the touchdown. The handoff is to Leo Lewis, and Lewis bursts over there for the touchdown. As there's going to be a fight here. Lewis, number 29, and number 51, Larry Anderson. We're having more than words out there. And the score is Bombers 19, Calgary Stampeders 11. Lewis going to the bench for a standing ovation. And he was a payoff man in this drive of the Bombers. There's no doubt about that. So James will go for the extra point. There's the snap, and Plain can't handle it. James is going to run with it. He's on the 15, he's on the 10, and he's running a touch on about the 5-yard line. He was trying to run it in there for a point. Lovell Coleman forcing James into touch. The score remains 19-11 for the Bombers, and there's 9 seconds left. Calgary will receive the kickoff, and Harvey Wiley will be one of the deep men for the Stampeders. And knowing young Mr. Wiley, we've seen him go all the way on a touchdown run.
But unfortunately, even if he does, Jack, and converts it, there'll still be a point short in the event such a thing could happen. And it could.
Calgary lining up for the kickoff. Harvey Wiley, 21. And number 20 is Jim Dillard. Ball will be on the 25. Calgary has got 6 men on the restraining line this time. Wiley and Dillard. Wiley's over the goal line. James is coming to the sidelines, and Rowland will take the kickoff. It may be one of those short kickoffs that the Bombers had used on occasions. Now timing is called, and Gar Warren goes over there and says something to Rowland. Still 9 seconds to play, and it's a long 9 seconds. Here we go. That's what it is, that short onside kick. Everybody goes for it. Let's see who's got it. And there's a taken by Hal Grebs, I believe it is. And there's a pile-up of players, and they're all still scrapping for the ball. And the ball is on the Calgary 37 with 3 seconds remaining. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Calgary Stampeders on their own 37. And the clock is running. This is the last play of the ball game, and here comes Eagle Day out of the pocket looking for a receiver as he throws deep, and it is incomplete. It was intended for Buchanan. The ball game is over, with the Bombers winning by a score of 19-11. Don't leave us. There's football broadcast between the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Calgary Stampeders is coming to you from Winnipeg.
Turn in at
the sign of the big VA for gasoline that leads the way. Then you'll get service fit for a king and products that make your engine sing. Follow the leader all the way. Turn in at the sign of the big VA.
There are many ways to say clean. And on the highway, VA says it so well. The fresh, clean look of VA stations with their tidy premises and neat, clean restrooms. So refreshing on a long trip. Yes, there are many ways to say clean, but on the highway, only VA says it so well. Another example of continuing leadership from VA.
Clean across Canada.
Well, it's all over but the shouting for another day, and as you see, the very joyful and happy fans, and a lot of them will be back on Saturday as the series is now tied at 1 win each. And Jack, I certainly hope that the weather isn't like this on Saturday, but there's nothing to make me think that it'll be any different.
Well, it'll be an afternoon ball game, Brad, and that usually indicates that you have a lot warmer weather for an afternoon ball game than you do a night game. I think that's only simple, whatever it may be, physics, I guess. I don't know what the long-range forecast is for Saturday afternoon here, but both the Calgary Stampeders and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers will show up for the game Saturday afternoon, and kickoff time is 2:30. That's Winnipeg time.
So there'll be two big football games on that day, with the second game in the Montreal-Hamilton series going also Saturday afternoon.
Yes, and we received a wire from some Montreal fans saying that it was going to be Montreal. They'd meet Calgary in the Grey Cup final. And those Alouette supporters, well, they figure 11 points is not too much to overcome, and quite frankly, it's not. They'll be out there shooting on Saturday afternoon against Jungle Jim Trimble's Tiger Cats in the Civic Stadium in Hamilton. So we're coming right on down to the home stretch in another football season, Brad. It's been a great one, too.
And by Saturday night, of course, the Grey Cup finalists will be determined, and the Grey Cup is a week from this coming Saturday, so football season, and perhaps one of the most successful, I think, in Canadian history, from many points of view, will come to a conclusion.
You know, one thing about it going down to the final game like this series is, Brad, and I think this is pretty well indicated by these two clubs over the regular season play, that it makes it hard on the not so much the fans because they can make their arrangements, but the officials of the various clubs who try to make preparations ahead. And they'll only have a week to do it, less than a week, because they'll be taking off for the Easter round the Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, all next week, regardless of what team wins. But it doesn't give them too much time to make any final preparations.
That's very, very true. The Bombers were 6-point favorites coming into this ball game, and they won it by 8 points. So it looks as though these people, whoever they may be, who establish such things, were pretty close.
Yes, and it was kind of, I thought it kind of flattered the Bombers a little bit, Brad, being 6-point favorite. They were pretty soundly beaten by the Calgary Stampeders last Saturday afternoon, in spite of the closeness of the score.
Well, of course, I personally have been feeling about this game tonight that the Bombers had that psychological advantage playing at home, a must-win, and they haven't been playing up to scratch their past half-dozen games. So everything indicated that they would come up with a big game. Whether or not they could push past Calgary was the story, and they did it.
Well, I tell you, this was no patsy ball game out here tonight. And while the Bombers won it by that 8-point margin, they knew they'd been in a ball game. And I don't know what the statistical story has to tell us, but here's Al Vickery. He has it there, so come on in, Al, and
you read
give
it.
us the lineup.
I'm too cold, and Jack's too cold, so you read it.
I thought if you could with this rating in this weather. In the first down department, Winnipeg had 20 first downs to Calgary's 8. Rushing, Winnipeg 192 yards, Calgary 74. In the passing department, Winnipeg tossed 16, completed 6 for 130 yards, and had 1 intercepted. In the Calgary's 21 passes, 6 complete, 43 yards, and also 1 intercepted. Fumbles, Winnipeg had 4, they lost 2. Calgary didn't fumble any time, so they didn't lose any. The penalties, Winnipeg had 4 for 49 yards, and Calgary 7 for 58. Individual rushing, Shepard picked up 72 yards on 13 carries, Hagberg 48 yards on 16 carries, and Lewis 52 yards on 8 carries. For Calgary, it was Lunsford 67 yards on 13 carries, and Dillard 11 yards on 4 carries. That's your stack story. Thanks, Brad.
Okay, go and thaw out, Al. Thank you very kindly. And, of course, one of the spectacular plays of the game, and it's unusual, and in this type of weather, Jack, you'd see spectacular plays, was that catch that Farrell Funston made on Kenny Plain's pass. I think it went for about 57 yards, and then Plain bootlegging around the right side.
You know, I think this game was lost tonight by the Calgary Stampeders right in the very first quarter, Brad. They were moving in. They had the favoring wind, which has been a real strong wind out here tonight, gusting up to 29 miles an hour from the northwest. And Calgary were in close on 3 occasions. They attempted 3 field goals and didn't get any. They got single points on all 3 field goals. So instead of having 9 points there, they came away with only 3.
Well, 6 points I don't think was enough to make a difference because, as we say, they're trailing by 8 points. It might have had a psychological advantage knowing that they had a bigger lead. But I think that's about as far as it would go.
In contrast, the Bombers got 2 field goals from Jerry James, from similar distances.
Well, Jack, what do you think about Saturday? This is a very big game, and it's going to be a hard one to figure.
Gosh, how are you going to pick him now?
Well, I know Bobby Dobbs only brought a shaving kit down with him. He's going to have a problem tomorrow.
Well, over the season, the Bombers won 2 games from the Calgary Stampeders, and Calgary won 1. Then Calgary came back to win the first game of the series to evenly count at games played against each other this year. Now the Bombers have taken the lead in games played by winning this one tonight.
Okay, and that just about does it from the Winnipeg Stadium. The final score again was 19-11 in favor of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and we invite you to join the CTV network on Saturday for all these football games that will be coming up, one out of the East and, of course, one out of Western Canada. Jack, any final words?
No, but we'll be with them on Saturday anyway.
Man, it's really cold out here, I'll tell you.
This half of Canadian professional football has been brought to you by the British American Oil Company Limited and BA Dealers and Distributors, clean across Canada. Your commentators were Jack Wells and Brad Key. Technical Director Dennis Ball.
This is Canada's football network, CTV.
A century-old Spanish